In September 1958, 60,000 residents of Fresno, California received a little rectangle of plastic in their mailbox. This was the dawn of the credit card, and now, 55 years later, approximately 1.5 billion people on planet Earth own a credit card. But what is a credit card, and why is this concept never ever taught in schools? Well, my friends, that is because school does not teach you about money. Why? Because if everyone knew about money, then everyone would know how to become rich. And if everyone knew how to become rich, then no one will be rich, because wealth is relative. But that's a debate for a whole other day. The sad thing is, school doesn't teach you about this stuff. But luckily you have me, an engineering student at Imperial College London, who learned all about credit cards the hard way, watching countless YouTube videos, reading hundreds of articles, and speaking to literally anyone that has a credit card or has heard of a credit card. The scariest thing is, despite the majority of adults owning a credit card, only a minority are actually using it correctly. And some are using it so badly that they fall into mountains of debt due to the compound interest accumulating on missed payments. Now, if none of that made sense to you, do not worry one bit. I'm going to explain exactly what that means in this video. The truth is, if you take some time out of your day to watch this video, firstly, I really appreciate it, and secondly, you'll become more educated about credit cards. So if you love financial tips, productivity hacks, and student advice, make sure to like the video and subscribe down below. I've got many videos coming out in the coming weeks that'll be sure to help you in all facets of life. But enough chit chat, let's get into the bulk of the video. Okay, strap in guys, I'm going to do my best to explain what a credit card is as simplest as I can. A credit card is a means of payment by providing a loan to purchase a goods or service with 0% interest, provided you pay off the payment in full at the end of the interest-free period, which is usually the end of the month for most credit cards, which means you buy things without using your own money. But you are then contracted to pay off all your purchases by the end of the month, or at least pay the minimum fee required, because if you don't, you're going to start to get charged interest, and trust me, this is not a territory you want to get into. Interest on credit cards is signified by APR, or annual percentage, and this APR can be absolutely extortionate on credit cards. So banks absolutely love people that will be late to pay off their credit cards and hence pay more than they should due to the accumulated interest. Hands down, the scariest thing is that this interest can compound. Let me explain what I mean. Let's say you purchase a designer top for £125. Now at the end of the month, you can't afford to pay off all the £125, so you pay off the minimum fee, which is £25, leaving you with £100 excess to roll over onto the next month. The bad thing is, the interest-free period has ended. You now have to pay interest, and your APR on this credit card, for example, is 24%, meaning you'll pay 2% interest on the first month. Now this wouldn't be too bad, it just rolls over to £102 because 2% of £100 is only £2. But then let's go on to the next month. You then pay 2% on £102 and then 2% on that and that. This is compound interest. This means you pay interest on interest. Believe me, this can get so bad that some people have left their credit cards without paying for so long that the actual interest charged is more than the initial purchase itself. And if the payment becomes too much and the creditor believes you have no chance of repaying it back, you could default on your credit card. This could result in a lawsuit. So if you really have to miss a payment, at least pay the minimum amount required. This will be specified to you in the cardholder agreement when you receive your credit card by the bank you choose to go with. I know for some of you this could potentially sound really scary, but this is how the banks make money. And at the end of the day, if you know how the banks make money, you know what to avoid doing. So I've talked about the risks of getting a credit card. Let's now talk about why you should get a credit card. The first thing is, credit cards come with great perks that are not usually available with debit cards. This can be cashback, membership points. For example, I've got an AMEX BA card, which gives me Avios for each purchase, which I can then convert with British Airways to pay for travel. Be careful though, because some credit cards boast absolutely amazing perks, but these may also have an annual fee. So be aware, not all credit cards are free of charge. The second reason is, if you are using your credit card correctly, it can prove you are a reliable borrower and hence improve your credit score. This will help you get more favorable loans and mortgages from the bank. This is why I recommend credit cards for students, because the earlier you start building your credit score, the better. You don't want to be looking for a house and having an awful credit score and then being ripped off by the banks who give you an awful mortgage. Thirdly, credit cards have better protection against fraud than debit cards. Someone makes a fraudulent purchase on your credit card, inform the card issuer and they should wipe the fraudulent charges. If possible, get a credit card with a long interest-free period. This means that if you do have to miss payments, you won't start accumulating interest straight away. The AMEX card I use has a 56-day interest-free period, but some credit cards can have interest-free periods of up to 2 years. Okay, so we talked about the benefits of a credit card. Let's now talk about how you can get a credit card. I'm going to flat out say it. Being a beginner is very hard. You need a good credit history to get a good credit card, but you need a good credit card to build a good credit history. So as a beginner, and definitely as a student with next to no personal income, it could be hard to find a company that will be willing to issue you their credit. However, fortunately, there are free credit checkers online. Experian and Money Supermarket come to mind, which can then check which credit cards you'll be eligible for. These are useful because if you apply for a credit card and get rejected, that can actually come up against you on your credit score. So you want to make sure you apply for a credit card that you've got a good chance of being accepted. I personally chose the American Express British Airways Avios card. This is because they're very friendly to students. I knew they were going to accept me. And for each purchase made on the card, I get free Avios, which I can then translate into British Airways points to then go on holiday for free. I'm currently sitting on 12,500 points, which can already get me to Paris for free. And the annual charge on this card is £0. You don't pay an absolute thing each year. And the cool thing is I referred 2 of my friends to Amex who got instantly accepted as well. So I'm sure that Amex will accept you too, should you choose to go with them. If you do want to sign up with Amex, I'll leave a link in the description below. And as a referral bonus, if you spend £1,000 in your first 3 months of owning the card, you'll receive 6,000 free Avios points. But by no means feel obligated to go with Amex. There are many other cards available. Do your due diligence to research which one is best for you. Other potential beginner credit cards include the Capital One Classic and Discover It. They come with their individual perks. But do note, you must be a UK resident and at least 18 years of age to apply for a credit card. The best course of action is to utilize the free credit check, making sure to enter your details correctly, see which cards you should be eligible for, and then make a decision based on the perks of those cards. So there we have it. This was my advice on getting your first credit card in 2022. As I said previously, if you want to get your card from Amex, make sure to visit the link in the description and get Avios for every purchase using the credit card. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. If you want to see more financial tips, productivity hacks, and student advice, this is the place to be. So make sure you like the video and subscribe down below. And I hope to see you lot in the next video.